This fin's a little bit split, but it's quite close to the tip, so I'm not going to do anything with that. If it gets any worse, the trick is catch it in the net, take it out, put a tiny little dab of super glue on the end of the two rays so it holds them together, and it will seal the gap all the way up on its own.
Sweet.
You ready to go, mate? So I'm going to take it on to pick his bearings back together. Done, hasn't it, since last time?
Yeah, it went really skinny. That's about the size it was when I bought it, you know.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a big fish.
Yeah, and then it stopped eating and what?
Yeah. Yeah, it dwarfed everything in my pond. He's coming back for you, look.
Oh, you swine! We got him just there. Yeah, he's having a wander around the surface now. What's going off here? I suppose it's like when you see the videos of people on YouTube and that who've been on morphine and they're just coming around from the drug.
Yeah.
That must be a bit what it feels like.
Is it worth getting another net?
Possibly. Actually attempt to catch it. It's more a game of trying to get used to the net being near it first before.
Whoa, got him. No way. God, he's a big fish.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. I've not had this one. Pop straight in.
Yeah, just took him in the barrow, mate, yeah.
Oh, you're a beautiful fish.
Yeah, nice fish, isn't
I'll be happy catching that. It's the first time I've seen him out.
Calm down, kiddo. Use the square of the net. Normally the Israelis that do that, to be honest. Scales beautiful, aren't they?
It's good colour as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, nice fish, you're right, would be a nice fish to catch. Shame about his face.
Yeah, every one of the carp were absolutely perfect.
The truth is, once I've cut a lot of that off,
It should be a little.
yeah, you know what I mean. It'll go over time. You'll end up with a mark that's this sort of colour.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
shiny silvery white, and then it'll start to go black, and it'll start off like that dark black colour, and eventually slowly go back into olive.
It's very green, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, it's as if it's been at the bottom of a natural pond, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
There's one of his scales.
Yeah, I'll save that.
Absolutely perfect condition apart from that mark.
Weighty little fish.
Should weigh about 6. Oh, not a bad size.
Yeah, a lump, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Big female.
And it was that big when I got it, 2.5 years ago.
No way. Just shows you 2.5 years, that's a good 14-inch now, that, isn't it?
They've grown unreal, and that's not even the biggest one.
43 centimetres. I feel like she's gonna go.
I can't believe it flew straight into the gap and missed that slab.
I know, but they do have a knack of doing that, you know. We had one once, it jumped out of the back garden, at the pond into the back garden. I kid you not, it must have gone as far as that wall. Do you know who Paula Reynolds is? She's like she runs Lincolnshire Fish Health. She's one of the old government's sort of advisors on all the parasites and, you know, foot and mouth and fish diseases, KHV, all that sort of stuff. Well, we've bought fish out of her own personal pond, and while we were there picking them, she's going around with the net trying to catch them out, and one of them comes straight out of the pond, about 38-inch long, comes straight out of the pond. My dad caught it in his arms like that, bunged it back into the pond. Because it wouldn't have gone in that basket, you know what I mean? It was fucking massive. And he was about, I don't know, about a year away from the side of the pond, you know what I mean? And it just went fucking straight at him.
Really?
You're not going to like this, kiddie. I can tell you that for a fact. I know, mate. I know.
Pretty clean.
There's not actually a lot of it that's open, mate, yeah. I'm tempted not to do a great deal with it, just seal it over the top. It's going to leave him with a bit of a funny bump on his face, but, you know, it's not.
It should heal down.
It's just, yeah, it's just like the like your cheek, if you like, you know, the skinny, fleshy bit. I can cut it off if you want, but it's not really damaged, and you could cause more damage.
Yeah.
Taking it off.
Probably chance leaving it for a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I can always come out and, you know, have a quick check up on him.
If it starts getting worse,
yeah. There's a good chance. There's very little damage on it at all. There's very little actually damage.
The day I noticed it, it wasn't there in the morning. Came out, cleaned it.
Something's spooked him, and it's gone like that into the bottom of the net, and one of them triangles has caught its face. Just watch you don't flap for me a sec. Like that. And that one. And then I'll inject him anyway. Right. I know, mate, I know. Just keep yourself calm, kiddo.
Is that the iodine?
It's just an antibiotic solution, mate.
Is it?
I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember. I'll have to send you a text message with the name. It's just we've got a couple of different ones. They're all just antibiotic, really. You can use iodine. Iodine works perfectly well. But this is just another. It sort of backs up the injection I'm going to put in a second.
Yeah.
Calm down, kiddo.
I've heard stories about people driving to France, catching fish, stealing them and wrapping them in wet towels and bringing them back over to England.
Yep.
So how comes mine that landed on the net that was half in the water?
Because it's flapped itself out.
Yeah, I thought that.
We've had in our own pond, personally, I've had them. Calm down, mate. Calm down. I've had them, watch it, I've had them jump out overnight and be there until first thing in the morning on the floor.
Yeah. The one's swimming around all bit normal now.
Yeah, picked himself back up again. See, we've got blood there now, so he's nice and... Now what we've got to do, just leave that set for a minute. Let's get to under his peck. Can you do me a favour and hold his tail still for me? Because I don't want him to flap while I inject it. He's definitely going to attempt to.
Into the little muscle.
You go, yeah, it has to be a vertical stroke because otherwise it doesn't go in. If you go in anywhere else than actually into the muscle there, if you go in that gap or up here or in there, it's rock hard, you can't get it through. You have to go straight down, right in the centre, behind his peck. That's what it's like going into your armpit basically. That is the best way to calm down, you little swine. Chill your boots, kiddo. I know you're coming around. I just want to make sure you're all sealed up there. You bastard. Too late. Get on it.
It's come out. No, I got it, huh?
No, it's down there, mate. Again, same product, it's just a dry form of it instead of a wet form. You're not getting anywhere, kiddo. There's no more.
Not good problem.
It won't affect him anyway, that one. Absolutely desperate, so am I. He's absolutely spotless apart from that. Two down, one to go. Yeah, I've played this game with you before, Sunshine, I remember this one.
Compared to all the others, it was like a third of the price. Yeah.
Yeah, they're alright, Richard and Donald, aren't they? Done a lot of business with them over the years. Actually, when we used to do a lot of the Jap trips, we used to go with Richard and Donna.
Oh yeah.
Well, Donna used to stay in England actually, and Richard used to go on the trips.
That's got to be you.
There's no way of getting that. Going up for 16 inch now, right up to it as well.
he's done this before.
Oh, look at that, look lovely. Just needs a little bit of a tidy up and a spray, and I'm not even going to bother ejecting that, mate. Just clean him up and give him a bit of spray and send him back.
Yeah.
He's really healthy, other than his mouth.
Just a shame this past couple of weeks.
You know what? It's the weather's changing. That's what's done it. Because the weather changes, and like here at the minute we're going through this overnight. It's going down 5 or 10 degrees and then going up again.
Whacking straight up.
And when it goes down, the bacteria all slows down in the water. The ammonia and everything builds up a little bit. The sun comes back and strips it all out. You load a load more food in, and then it goes down again. And there's still a little bit of residual there before it slowly starts to build up. And the closer we get to winter, ambience coming down slowly starts to affect them, and then they start to get a bit pissed off and they don't eat as much because they're not eating as much, they're not taking as much protein in, they're not as healthy, the body can't fight it, and it slowly gets worse and worse and worse until winter comes, and then they can't fight it off at all. But he's compared to, you know, when we first saw him, he's 1,000. It just shows you that if you get him at the right time, no matter how bad the damage is.
I mean, if I'd have probably had you here 3-5 days earlier, he might have still had his lips.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now you know, don't you? It's one of them things.
Yeah.
It's that's why windows are good. That's the positive side to a window, because you can sit there right back there and watch them
see
flying up against the window,
sides and the bottom
and spots and this is always a bad time. There's a lot of people who've had a lot of fish die this year.
Really?
Chiladinello and Trichadina and.
Yeah, that's. I found my one on the net. The next day, or 2 days later, bought this and was stringing it up, and one just started being funny. By the time we'd finished it, it was upside down.
Yeah, we're in that rough time of year now. It's the beginning of the year and the end of the year. That's nice as well. That cake is cool.
Yeah, the one that died was pure white. It was my favourite fish,
right.
and there was not even a mark on it.
Parachina, yeah, a Deutsch one or scaled.
Only a few scales, less than the mirror.
Yeah. Dopey dope. Is all the others alright and nothing else you want to have a look at while I'm here, or?
I think that was it.
And
put them in at the same time.
Put them both in at the same time, yeah. In front of your flow here, so that it...
Yeah.
And let it go purple. Let it just change the water purple, and then it will start to go brown after about 6, maybe 8 hours. If it goes brown straight away,
it's dirty.
You need to put another one of them in. You need to wait 2 days, 48 hours, and then put another treatment of potassium in. But if anything above 4 hours of purple in the water, 6 is ideal. So obviously do it in the morning when you're going to be in all day or whatever. So you can just keep an eye on it. You'll literally see it go from that colour purple to that colour brown.
Yeah.
It all depends on how clean your water is. That's the only way to tell. But
and then what? A week it starts to clear up, or
it acts immediately. It's like it's basically like bleach. If you put bleach on on a parasite or whatever, it kill it on contact. So you're going to put that in. For that 6 hours that it's working, it's oxidising everything in the water. Now, if the water's a little bit dirty, what it does is it cleans the water before it oxidises the parasites. You've got a bit of tenacity, have you, mate? So it cleans the water before it cleans the fish, in effect. So if your water's a little bit dirty, you'll be all right. You know, within the average specifications, it'll mate. But if it's a little bit dirtier than average, if you like, it will need a second treatment of potassium, because the main bulk of the oxidation will clean the water and make sure there's no parasites living in there, and then you'll treat the fish. So, but you'll only be able to make that assumption, or that what's it?
If it changes.
That conclusion, when you see it change. So you put it in, and then if it goes brown before 6 hours is out, say 5 or 6 hours, you need to put another one in 48 hours time. If it stays purple for 6 hours or more, you're good to go. Just keep it as it is. Leave it. A couple of days later, you can chuck in a bottle of peroxide. You know, if you go to the chemist and buy from the chemist a little £3 50 bottle of peroxide. They're about that size. Just chuck one in and it'll totally go back clear again straight away. But don't do it before. Don't do it before the time is up. Did you get my stuff back? Little squeezing tube.
Yeah, it came out.
That's there, look. Yeah, if you do it before the time, what happens is, you see, if you have to do a second treatment, peroxide neutralises the potassium. So if you then do the potassium, put that in, then you take that out and you go for the you chuck the peroxide in. It neutralises the potassium, but if the potassium hasn't properly fully done its job, you're still going to go for a little bit longer, are you? You'll neutralise it before it's done its job, and then you put another treatment in and it neutralises some of that treatment as well, because it stays in the water, so it makes it ill-effective. So wait till 3 days later before you put any peroxide in to neutralise it, you know what I mean, and then you can just be 100% sure.
Yeah, it seems that it can't open it as much now.
It's if we can make it a little bit more. Might try and take that flap of bone off there, see if we can give him a bit more space to breathe through. To take your
food in.
Pellets and that in. I'll give him a sec just to make sure he's dopey, because when you cut stuff off, he's going to tell me off for it for sure. My cat's a bloody nightmare. You never do this with my cat. He'd be up here in this bowl trying to figure out what you're doing.
Really?
Yeah, straight away, mate.
He's just not bothered about anything.
I've got fish tank, marine fish tank, big one, and he fucking goes up on top of the lights and sits on top of the lights with all the fans blowing underneath him. Fucking hanging from the ceiling. How he gets up there without wrecking him, I don't know. Right. See that nodule there?
That bone, is it?
I think so, yeah. I think that's where the bone is. Yeah, it is. Look.
That's give him a much bigger opening.
Yeah. Be quite painful, unfortunately, but if it means he can eat. Oh no! It's alright, mate.
He'll come back up again.
Gonna be painful, that is, let's be honest. Now you see why we do it on the edge of the pond. But that should give him a better opportunity to eat. There's a little bit there we can snip off as well, look. That's loads better.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry for your pain, my friend.
Oh, that's fizzing on the inside of his mouth.
That's where the blood's coming out, that is. You know where I've just cut it?
Yeah.
There's not actually a great deal of open flesh on the outside either.
Oh.
Calm down, mate. You're
sucked
right.
it in.
Yeah, it's alright. It's all healed up really well though, all the way around the bottom, all the way around here.
Yeah.
It's mainly just that piece on his nose there, isn't it?
Clean white, absolutely clean. I've been doing a lot of pond visits.
Yeah, quite a few, mate. You know, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's the time of year where a lot of fish struggle, and there's not really a lot that a lot of people can do about it, because it's just one of them things. I quite enjoy it, to be honest with you.
So this is a male?
Yeah. Oh, swine. Come back up here. That's definitely a male.
It's always been a torpedo shape than a big fat submarine. Coming back. You've got the jets there as well.
Yeah, force a bit of fresh air through his lungs.
Yeah, it's just chuck loads of shit out there.
Yeah,
there you go.
Lots of the dust and that goes down his throat. The noses are always the first to go, because they don't have nerves in them at all, and it's the bit that they use to test everything with. So, and they bang into everything with it. You know, when they pick food, it's the first thing they touch. So it's always the first bit to get damaged. Hopefully now I should be able to eat a bit better.
Now we've operated on the fish. I'll just treat the water, just clean the filters, topping it back up with fresh water. Gotta dose it with this purple juice. Look at that. Apparently my whole pond's gonna go purple for a few hours. Look at that. That soon mixes up, doesn't it? The air bubbles on, creating the flow. Not really many dead spots. Gonna get wet feet. Look at that. A bit red. I need to turn off your UV sterilizer when using permanganate, anti-parasite and antiseptic treatment for koi. Black, oh, dark purple. It's just turning the glass into a mirror. after adding the purple dye yesterday, it turned brown within 4.5 hours. That means it needs another treatment. It's probably 22 hours since I first did the treatment, and it's cleared up a hell of a lot. Give it another treatment, and that should be it for the winter. Nights start getting cold. The lights already started drawing in. All the wounds have been seen to. Time to hibernate.